Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of AFC North.
Cheers.
Yeah, starting right down the line.
Sam Schneider repping the Bengals in LA.
He just hit puberty again.
Damn football games give me every time. Every time.
Good.
Dave Green, Browns guy.
Jan Davis Utar, Ravens Nation.
Chris Atkins, Steelers Nation.
There you go. All right, so we've got Chris here. He's sitting in for Gavin. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Awesome.
Gavin didn't want to show up because he didn't want to talk about injuries.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, so here's how we're going to roll. We're going to start right down the line, reviewing last week's game between the Bengals and the Ravens. Sam.
So the Bengals are 3-0. We had a back and forth affair in the fourth quarter with the Ravens. I got that first division win out of the way, which is really, really big.
Huge.
Jam nailed it last week, saying it was going to be a fourth quarter game. What he did not nail was when he mentioned how Andy Dalton was going to choke in the fourth quarter, and Andy Dalton ate them alive in the fourth quarter. Actually, I should say Andy and AJ Green, who, by the way, is your NFL AFC Player of the Week. So that's a big fat boom. So he and Steve Smith were playing a game of anything you can do, I can do better. It really was fun to watch.
It was a fun
because they
game
were
to
both absolute monsters. Everybody played really well. I think on the offensive side of the ball, defense missed tackles kind of plagued us a little bit, especially on a couple of those Steve Smith plays. But I think Bengal fans will agree with me when I say the most impressive thing about the win is we not only beat the Ravens, but we beat the fucking officials in this game too, who were just horrible.
Oh my God.
For the entire game.
It was ridiculous, that game. Yeah, from a Ravens standpoint, really good game, but man, was that tough to watch. Literally, like, some of the worst defensive play calling I've seen, like, all season. Like, whose idea was it to put AJ Green partnered up with Kendrick Lewis? No. Why would you do that? He scored an 80-yard touchdown. That was, no. Dean Pease. I know. It's the greatest name ever. Seriously, like, you're the defensive coordinator. Defense is usually helpful. I will say that some things that were really impressive was, like, unfortunately we lost Crockett Gilmore for this coming game, but he was monster, got 2 touchdowns for us. Marshall Yanda, amazing. Steve Smith, freaking amazing. At one point in time, I was literally tweeting, can Steve Smith please cover AJ Green? I mean,
Haven't played both ways.
No. Oh my gosh. We do have a punt returner now settled in Michael Campanaro. Like, he literally did a really freaking good job. But man, that was a tough game to watch. And we, again,
I thought it was all right.
We totally choked in the fourth. It's like we should have had that. But anyway, so moving on to the Browns.
All I gotta say is we lost to the fucking Oakland Raiders.
I lost to the freaking Oakland Raiders.
Fucking
They're 2-1 against our division right now.
bad. Just bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
That's what I gotta say. All right.
That's what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well,
In the factory of sadness.
let me start by saying the impossible has finally happened. Someone figured out a way to knock Big Ben out for upwards of 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Landry Jones. I was a huge fan of yours when we drafted you out of Oklahoma. You were a gunslinger. I thought you were going to be the guy. Michael Vick comes in a couple weeks ago. Excuse me. Luckily for us, he was on hand for the fall of Big Ben.
Yeah.
He comes in. He wins one. It was ugly. Takes it 12-6. Scovy snack come back.
Yeah, baby. Scovy snack.
Scovy snack comes up.
He did not miss anything, right?
Hey, I will take a bloodbath like that as a win over the Rams. Who the Rams? I thought were going to be the surprise of the season this year.
Yeah,
It's starting to look like it might be the Raiders.
Yeah.
More so than those
It
guys.
really has been.
The Rams front seven is really good, but their offense has trouble getting it going. But I mean, you guys played good defense in that game too.
Yeah.
The Rams took down the Beast in the first game and have just stunk the place up since then. So thank you to the Rams. First game back with Smokey Bell.
Yeah.
He had 3.3 yards per carry.
Smokey Bell.
We'll take it. He's getting warmed up. Let me think. What else can I take from this week?
That Bell looks like he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
He's ready to go.
He didn't like missing
He's shaking the rust off. I think he's ready to go this week against the Raiders.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on down to next week's game.
Sure. Bengals are at home hosting the Kansas City Chiefs.
After they got slaughtered.
They did, and I'd make a case that they might be one of the better 1 and 2 teams in the NFL for what that's worth.
Yeah.
They got a lot of weapons. Jamal Charles is no joke.
Yeah.
Although he has less rushing yards than Giovanni Bernard at this point, so that's pretty good. But we know the pass rush from Kansas City is it's not fooling around.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers had really quick feet on Monday, so he was able to elude a lot of times when they got into the backfield.
Aaron Rodgers looked like he was just having a good time.
He was. And on one hand, I would love to be like the way Andy's playing right now, that he could duplicate an effort like that. But he's not quite as quick getting out of the pocket when he feels the pressure as Aaron Rodgers is. I still think I think this is the game we really get Jeremy Hill going. I think we take it at home. I think it's going to be like 27-17.
27-17.
Yeah, I think we're going to beat them pretty easily.
All right, rock
Nice.
on.
All right, well, we got San Diego in San Diego. It's a 4 o'clock game for the East Coast people out there. Dude, the numbers are ridiculous. San Diego's 4th in total offense. They average 402 yards per contest. There's no way our defense is going to keep up with that, considering we are 27th in total defense.
Yeah.
Dude, the one good thing we do have going is we're 14th in pass defense. But the rushing, that's going to kill us. This could be a back and forth affair. I'm really thinking it's going to be San Diego 27, Browns 17. Watch out for Melvin Gordon. He's going to go for 120 and 2 TDs on our sorry-ass defense.
I'm sorry, who's your quarterback this season?
No, I didn't want to discuss that. I figured TMZ had it covered. But apparently it's going to be McCown again.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how long is this going to go on, really, before they just put Manziel in there and say, let's see what you got?
I don't know. As soon as TMZ figures out something better to talk about.
TMZ is going to start calling plays.
You know, I honestly think that Mike Patton has an issue with Manziel. That's what it seems to be. How do you bench a guy after he wins one for you? It doesn't make any sense. The comments Mike Evans had out of Tampa last week or earlier this week were really fascinating to hear.
Yeah.
He's like totally in agreement to go with Manziel. You win one, you should stay.
Well, it's interesting you say, when Mike Patton said, we're going with the guy who we think gives us the best chance to win.
Right.
No offense, Dave, but I don't think you guys are making the playoffs.
No.
So who cares whether you have the best chance to win or not? If you tank it, you get a great draft pick anyway. So why not play
And you got to figure out
and see what's going to happen?
what the kid has.
Right.
Otherwise, we're going to draft another quarterback. That'll be number 23. And we're going to watch him go down to Dallas like Brandon Whedon did this past weekend and actually fucking win after we booed him out of Cleveland. We have no fucking clue what the hell we're doing. I really wish...
How do you really feel?
Let's talk about this. I mean,
I don't think that there's the structure we have in place, and I think it starts at the top with Haslam. I think he's very, very impatient. That's why we've had 3 head coaches and 2 general managers underneath his leadership.
Yeah.
There's no stability. You can't sit there in preseason talk about stability and then have none because we didn't win because we win 4 games. Like, come on, it's bullshit.
This has been Browns Rant.
Brought to you by
Dave Green, Browns guy.
All right, so moving on to Ravens Steelers Thursday night prime time. This is a game that literally we have to win. We have to win this. Start 0-4. 0-4 it's a horrible place to be. And I literally think that if we can get the defense into shape, we have an actual shot. I mean, you guys have Vic, but like all we got to do is pass rush him once and knock him out with somebody. Like if CJ Mosley gets a hold of him and you're putting in Landry, and that's it. I mean, really, what it boils down to is our run defense protecting against Bell and having Jimmy Smith on Antonio Brown every single damn.
You don't
play.
think the safety should be on Antonio Brown in this game?
I don't think that Kendrick Lewis should be anywhere near Antonio Brown on this game. We're also playing Heinz Field. Flacco's pretty good in Heinz Field. He hasn't done badly. He actually really likes playing there. So exactly, it's like that's the thing. if I had to make a prediction on this, I think it's going to be a tight game. I think it's going to be hard. I'm pulling for my Ravens. I think that it's going to be like 19-17.
Well,
keeping it low.
What scares the shit out of me about this game is it's a Thursday game.
Mm-hmm.
You get a short week.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Michael Vick coming off the bench. I mean, you know, he's only been in Pittsburgh for a couple weeks. You give him the playbook. You tell him, hey, you know, rest for a couple months, relax a little bit, and then by the way, you know, forget that rest and you have to play now.
Yeah.
That's tough. I mean, the Ravens are always going to be a tough team to play against, and to be honest, the defense is not what it used to be. I mean, I was looking it up, and for the first time in 12 years, we will play the Ravens without Ike Taylor and Troy Polamalu, who were actually picked up in the same draft, as well as Dick LeBeau, who, you know, legend in my heart.
Great coach.
Amazing coach.
This is our last game before we get Martavis Bryant back, who I think is hands down our second best receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, no disrespect to the tight end, but I mean, Bryant's good.
Yeah.
Bryant, he
Martavis
can catch. I mean,
he
he's
can
fast.
bust a game open.
He can. He really can.
So that helps us.
That guy's on both sides.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see, especially with Vic just coming in, the fact that he's a left-handed quarterback.
Yes, very different.
And Pittsburgh pretty much has to flip the entire
Everything.
play. You know what I mean? So, and since he hasn't run that many plays, if you got somebody lined up in the wrong spot, he might not even know it to tell him, hey, you need to get over there.
The other thing from a Ravens perspective is, like, we've got a lot of our playmakers that are out. Like Eugene Monroe, out. Crockett Gilmore, who just did 2 touchdowns on the Bengals, out. Rashad Perryman, like, we have a lot of...
Let's not forget that the Steeler killer is out. Suggs is
out. Suggs is out. I mean...
So if there were any time for us to play you guys, this is the time.
Yeah.
I'm still not that excited.
So what
you just would rather not do it without Big Ben?
For prediction, I mean, do you have any idea what it would mean to me to see you go 0-4?
I'm sure.
I have uncle.
All these guys
about as good as it felt to me to see him go 0-3.
I have an uncle in Baltimore who lives in a split household. He, of course, is a Steeler fan. His wife is from Baltimore. He's a Ravens fan. I cannot wait to call them Thursday evening and gloat a little bit about the Steelers taking this one 16-9.
16-9.
You ain't scoring. You ain't scoring.
He's keeping us down to like field goals. All right.
Jeez.
All right, guys. Well, that is us from AFC Northerners. As also, you may have noticed, I am jerseyless because I lost. So if next week the Steelers lose, which they will, then they will be jerseyless. So that's going to be fun for me to be able to put a jersey back on. Anyway, guys, again, AFC Northerners, and we sign off the same way as we always do with
Fuck the Patriots!
All right, guys, have a good one. See you next week.